Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Today we have the mighty awesome cable from XM Studios, and I am very impressed with this piece, and I think you guys will be too. And just to throw a little tease out, is this going to be the first perfect statue, a 10 out of 10 from any company? We'll find out, so stay tuned. And before we proceed, let's go back to the beginning as we usually do and see if we can do a semi unboxing. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, so the box is quite large. Fortunately, it's a one leveler, so you just have to lift off the top level, and then all of your parts are in one level. Okay, and then standard thick cardboard for XM Studios, and then you can see picture and a little bit of history of cable on that side, and then over here you can see info about the studios. Okay, and then you have your standard Velcro, which I think every company should be doing this instead of tape. Okay, and then inside it you have the base, cable, and then the assortment of arms. Okay, so let's before we put it together, let's see what kind of other goodness it comes with. Okay, so we have a standard art print of cable. This one's a little bit different than the ones in the past. It looks like they put it through a some form of chromatic wash. It's a stylized, I guess, print. Okay, and then the jacket it comes with. I didn't notice any registration form with it. I guess everybody's doing it online now. And then this one you get a booklet, a assemblage booklet. I think they started with Ghost Rider, so instead of getting a single sheet, you're getting one of these, and just to show you, you can read about it a little bit, and then let's see, and you can see where the parts goes. It's very nice for them to do this, so when you put it back, there's no guessing, and then it'll show you the assembling parts, and then you can see that's one way to do it, and then it looks like it's a reverse photo, and you get a little bit of a story there. Let's see. And then if you want to do the one with the gun out, you can do that. It's very nice. This just adds to the premiumness of this statue. And then you get that, and then some instructions on how to register and everything. Okay. And then let me see. And then some more instructions. And this is nice carrying for your collectible. Okay, so it's gotten a little bit more premium with this, and the cardboard feels great. It's not just some cheap paper. Okay, so let's start assembling cable. So we start out with the base. It looks like it's part of some form of a down turbine, I guess. It's hard to tell, but as you can see, yeah, it's some kind of turbine. Maybe from a Sentinel or an airplane or whatever. Okay, oh, looks like might be Wolverine's claw, so yeah, it could be part of a Sentinel. And then you have the I guess fin on there. Okay, and then I gotta remove this. Let's see. The attention to detail is nice. These are actually copper cable, so you can pose that any way you want. Okay. Alright, and then let's get cable on. Before putting cable on, I wanted to show you guys it's a one pegger. Okay, that's it. And this thing is heavy. Combined, you're probably looking at 40 pounds or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to put the camera down and put cable on. The body's in. Let's see how it fits. Right there, there's still some gap, as you can see, but you won't notice it while you're displaying the statue. And then the other part, right there, there's still some gap. But that's okay, because you're going to be looking at it from that angle. Okay? And then let's do a quick spin around, just to give you more details on cable. Okay, oh, by the way, the head does not come off. It's not interchangeable. Not that you have another head or anything like that. And I think I know why, and that's nice. You get ripped there. Oh, and these things, that's some form of actual cloth, okay? This whole thing. So it's not sculpted, it's actual cloth. So it's nice. You can see the mixed media function on this. And then of course XM love doing pouches, so cable is just perfect. Okay, and it looks like he came right out of the comic book. And you got, you know, a cut shirt there. Very nice. Okay. Oh, and when I put the arms on, these are going to be pegged with a steel rod. So there's no magnet. I don't think the magnet would have held. That's why they did it this way. Same thing with that. Okay, you're gonna have two long rods, and the reason they probably didn't make the head removable. Not only, let me get you a close up on that. Not only because there isn't anything to change out like a different head. I think it's the structural integrity of this. As you can see, when the rod goes through here, right, and then goes through here, the inside has to be very solid in order to hold the two arms, okay? So having a detachable head will compromise the structure. So they probably did it without, you know, putting two magnets on the head. And plus, like I said, there isn't a switch out head. So, although if they did one with him smoking a cigar, that'd be nice. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator. Sorry, Commando. Okay, so let's attach the arms, and then we'll see what it looks like. Before attaching the arm, let's attach this knife, and it goes right in here. Okay, there's a little hole in there, and all we're going to do is slip it in, and it's a little bit tricky to do. Be careful so you don't break this, okay? So that's what it looks like. Next thing we're attaching is this wing. It's gonna go right in here like so. Okay? And then you can see it's the peg. And what we're gonna do is just slip it in like so. Part of a down wing. Okay, so let's get the two of the arms attached. First arm we're gonna attach is the left arm. So it's gonna be over here like so. Okay, so just to show you, the detail is quite nice. The vein, it looks like it's underneath. So whatever, as you can see right there, whatever techniques they're using is really nice. So this is his oversized pistol. Okay, so as you can see, it's a peg. So what you want to do is go in and attach it in here, and you're just gonna slip it through and let the friction handle it. I don't know how good this thing is gonna hold, because it can just slip out, and then but we'll see. That's what his right arm looks like. And then what we're gonna do is attach his grenade belt on here. Okay, here we have the grenade. Yeah, I think these are grenades. They're too big to be shotgun shells. And then it's gonna be magnetized, like right there. Okay, so all we're gonna do is attach it like so. Whoop, there we go. Okay, so that should do it. Alright, so let's go with the right arm. Let's try the one with the gun on the shoulder, and then we'll do the gun pointing out. Okay. This is one of Cable's left arms. It's his mechanical arm, and this thing is huge. It's like a shoulder cannon. I feel like Dragon Ball Z shoulder cannon. But yeah, you get the gist of it. It's very nice done, or nicely done. Sorry. Mechanical arms, and then you can see all of that stuff. Okay, and no magnets, just a pig. So I'm gonna attempt to do this with one arm. Let's see how it works out. So we're just gonna. Oops, sorry guys. We're gonna fit it right into there. And let's see if it's gonna go in. Get in there. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we want to make sure that it's in tight. It's very nice. There's no seam or anything. Okay, so that's what we've got. So this one works well if you like to have the least amount of space used for this. The other gun's going to point out that way, so I'll switch out to that one. Okay, so that's just badass right there. So it does, if you like to show it this angle, it does obscure his face. But I don't think any statue is going to show get you the best angle at every turn. Okay. So that's what we have. Very nicely done. This thing's just nice. You know, it looks like it's a mechanical arm. I thought I would have loved to see this more chromed or something, but then I get it. It's, you know, post-apocalyptic Sentinel future, I guess. So all of your mechanical parts are not going to be nice and shiny. Okay, and then this is nicely done. Nice touch right there. Okay, so let me take a zoom out and give you a 360 of this, and then we'll switch out the other arms. And I do like this angle. It's really nice. This is well done, one of Xmen's best. Although all of their pieces are really nice, so it's hard to pick. It just comes down to your character preference. And let me get you a closer look at his arm, or his hand, sorry. Very nice. Okay, so let's take a 360 and then we'll switch out the other arms. Okay guys, it's 360 time with the cannon on the arm and the gun down. Okay? So as you can see, it's really nicely done. I wish I had gotten two of these, but they're pretty hard to get because it's a convention exclusive, and I'll get you that later in my review. Okay, as you can see, and then we'll go back the other way. This thing doesn't take up that much space, it's just some vertical space, so that's nice. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to switch out the arms, and then we'll do a 360, and then we'll get a close-up look at the statue. This is the other left arm with the gun pointing that way. As you can see, it's a very long piece. Or, yeah, The arm is stretched out, and then you get this rifle. It looks like an alien's rifle. So that's nice. I wonder if they got their inspiration from that. So you can see, and then let me give you a closer look. Mechanical goodness, peg. Okay, and then that's what the hand looks like. It's weather worn. I would love to have this in chrome, but like I said before, it is future post-apocalyptic times, so yeah, you're not gonna have any shinies. Okay, so I'm gonna attach it, and then we'll do a 360. Yep. So I have the pointing arm attached. So we'll do a 360 with that, and then we'll get a closer look. Oops. So you do get multiple display options, which is nice. That's one thing I love about XM is for most of the statues, yeah, they have a lot of switch outs and stuff like that. So it's really nice. And it's like the Terminator. Okay, so let's have a closer look, and then we'll switch out the other right arm. Okay. So as you can see, that's what it looks like. And he's sort of like got this, you know, weird angle down shot. It's really nicely done. Very nice. So if you put your statue in a cabinet, like the Vesta or something like that, and space is limited, you can actually switch out to the other arms. Okay, this one's really nice if you have open space and you can do something like that. All right, so let's switch out the other right arm, and then we'll do a 360 for that, or with that. Sorry. Okay. This is the other left arm with, of course, the pistol, but it's going to be pointing up like that, okay? So as we go to install it, of course, it's got the peg. You want to be careful not to break the hole because they're not magnets. So you have to be very careful with that, okay? So it's in, and then we'll install the grenade pack, okay? All right. So this is a another display option that you can do. Okay, so as you can see, fits nicely. Very well sculpted. Okay, so let me give you a 360 of this, and then we'll go in for the final score and some more details. Alright, let's do a 360 of a cable with the gun pointing and the gun up. Okay. Any way you display it, you can't go wrong because they're all pretty good. And then I'll show you another one of the display that you can do. Okay, and then we'll go back this way. Okay, so I'm going to switch out this arm, and then we'll get the one with him shouldering the rifle. Okay. Okay, this is with the rifle shouldered. So we'll do a 360 with this. So with this, you really have like 4 different displays that you can do, and each time you switch it out, it's really nice. it's cable, and they should give them they should give you like at least 2 more uh, guns or something. Okay. Alright, so let's do a closer look and then we'll go to the scorecard. Okay, so let's go to the scorecard. The first category we have is sculpting. Okay, this thing is nice. It's very nice. That's with most XM pieces. The sculpting is just fantastic. I don't think these are hand sculpted, at least not with this one. It is actually digitally done, but even then you have to know what you're doing. Okay, so the mechanical arm looks good. It looks like it's metal, metallic. It's worn, so it's not nice and shiny, and it looks like Cable has, this post-apocalyptic look to him. So that's pretty nice. As you can see, the muscles are nicely sculpted. You get some, mixed media there. And then the base, it looks like it's some form of a turbine. Most likely, like I said before, part of maybe a Sentinel, because you can see the Wolverine claw right there. Okay, and you can see straps, knee pads. These are nicely sculpted in, like it's attached. You get pouches, Cable's head. Let's have a closer look. That's what the mechanical eye, his left eye looks like. It looks like it's looking all the way to that side. But I think they did that for a reason. I'll let you know when I switch out this. Okay. And as you can see, the guns are nice. Everything's just overall nice. So sculpting wise, I did not find anything wrong with it. So I would have to give this a perfect 10 out of 10. And of course, there's no perfect. But for this instant, we'll call it a 10 out of 10. Okay, so the next category that we have is fit and finish. That's how well the paint is done, if there's any mixed media, how well it fits, and this is the only mixed media. That's actual strap, so it's not sculpted or anything. Good thing, because that thing would break. So that's your only mixed media. Okay, so it's well done, and I don't think you can, like maybe if they were to do the shirt or something, but that's something Sideshow would do. Okay, so I didn't find any flaws. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you find something. It's just that I did not find anything with this piece, and to me, if it overall looks good, I'm good with it. I didn't go through every single inch or millimeter to find anything. Okay, so for fit and finish, I would have to give this a 10 out of 10. I'm very impressed with this. So it's just nice overall, very nice. Okay, and then let me switch out the arms, and then we'll go with a different look to Cable. Okay. Okay, so I've got Cable's right arm down, just to give you a different look. And I don't think I did this combo, but this is nice also. It takes the least amount of space. Okay. So our next category is source material. How true it is to the, I guess in this case it would be the comic book. There's some liberties taken. With Cable, there isn't like a set, like Spider-Man with the red and blue costume or anything like that, or black costume. With Cable, he's been drawn, I guess, different ways. So with XM, it just they can do the creative interpretation of some of the stuff. Like the arm isn't this detailed when Cable's drawn in the comic book. Okay, it can't be. With it in statue form, you can see a lot of the details, and then you get a lot of pouches, which is really representative of Cable. And then of course the original one is the Rob Liefeld one with the big shoulder pads and stuff. So I didn't go with that, but I can see why, because that one it obscures a lot of the details. Okay, so source material wise, when you look at this, you know it's cable. Okay, no disputing it. The head is nice. Cable has been drawn, I guess, younger and older. The original Cable by Liefeld was an older, I guess, gentleman. So that's what you get here. Okay, so source material wise, they should just do one instead of two of these, so that's fine. Anyway, so source material wise, I can't complain. I would have loved to see more of a more shoulder pads, but then that's like going really way back to the classic version. The modern Cable is drawn with less shoulder pads. Okay, so source material wise, we'll give this a uh, we'll call it a 9.5 out of 10, 10 something like that, depending on your preference. But there's no disputing this is Cable, and there's only one other Cable statue. It's the Bowens um, by the I think Kucheruk brothers or Shiflet brothers. I forget, but I'll put that one up so you can see the difference later. But yeah, it's all good. Okay, our fourth category that we have is accessories, and this thing is just nice. Cable. Well, the accessories is how many switch outs and the base that you get. Um, and this base, it looks like I prefer the thematic base, but some characters there isn't much thematic to the base. This one looks like he might have fought some form of robot or something, and maybe that's part of a jetpack. Who knows? Um, but you get a nice base. It's not just a rock base. Okay, so I can dig that, and of course you have four switch out arms. Unfortunately, you don't get a switch out head. Um, I don't know if you need it. I mean, the only thing I would say is if they can do one with him doing a cigar, like Wolverine has cigars sometimes, so that would be nice. But like I said earlier, maybe they didn't want to do a switch out head because you don't really need it, and it might compromise, the integrity, the structure right here, because you got the two pegs coming in. So you want the torso to be solid, and if you have to do magnets or something, it might not be that solid. So I can see why they didn't do the switch out head, and you don't really need it, other than the maybe an open mouth head and a closed mouth, and like I say, you don't need it. But it's nice to have a Seacon. And the only other thing is, if they had done the switch out head, it would be nice. And I know somebody would do a head so you can switch it out. But in this case, the head is well done. The only thing is, the eye, like in the comic book, you can see, he's got like telekinesis. So you can't really draw that. I mean, you can draw that, but in real life, when you do this, you can't really make that unless it's like they go over the top and make it glow or something. Well, maybe something like that. But that's asking a lot. Okay. So let me switch out the arms and then we'll continue with this. Oh, with accessories wise, with two switch out, sorry, not accessory. Yeah, accessories. And a base, nice base, and that's posable. That's actually metal. So, and it's metal down there. And in the instruction booklet, they did tell you to be careful because you can get stabbed with that and bleed. Okay, so accessories wise, I would have to give this a 10 out of 10. I know the base could be better, but I mean, look how huge Cable is. Okay, that's my hand. So anything bigger, like a bunch of Sentinel's head, or oh, can you imagine if this was done on a Sentinel head? That thing would be like huge. It'd be up that high. But that would have been over the top. But for the purposes, I would give this a 10 out of 10 because of the two switch out arms. Could have gotten more guns or something, but that's okay. And the Sentinel head would have been over the top. But I think they already did that with Wolverine. So this one is they didn't want to do, I guess, the same thing. Okay, so before we go to the final score, let me switch out the arms and the left arm, and then we'll go to the final score. Okay. All right, so we've got the left arm with the gun pointing. You can see Very nicely done by XM. Seems like every piece that they put out just trumped the ones that came before it, well, other than Magneto. But yeah, okay. I don't know if this is gonna be better. I wish I had the Magneto, but anyway, all right, back to the point. Um, so the overall score, I would have to give this a. I want to give it a 10 because my piece is just fantastic. Is this the first 10 out of 10? I know not all my scores are 10s, but you want, let's give this a almost a 10. Um, we'll call it a 9.7. This will be the highest rated statue that I've given to any of them. The only thing that's holding back from a 10, I would think, is the eye. Okay, so if you look at it, like you look at it this angle, okay, the right eye is looking straight, and then the left eye is sort of like going to the, it's a mechanical eye, it's going to the right or left, sorry. So if you're displaying it this way, it sort of makes sense because he's looking straight ahead, right? And then he's pointing gun to the side. So being a mechanical eye, you can, it can go left, right, or whatever, and it's independent of the other eye, like your cross eye. You don't have that. So you can say that, or the only other problem is this: he's looking straight, but then he's pointing the gun to the side. So really, they should have another head, going looking this way, or both eyes looking this way. But Cable, he's a telepath, and he's so badass that I guess he can just point to one. He can look ahead and then not even seeing and then shooting to the side, like you see so many times in the movies. Okay, so I can work with that, but overall score 9.7. I think this is the best statue that XM has done, and I really like the one that I have, which I will put a review for you guys, is the Ghost Rider, and I thought that was almost a 10, but there was some things with that one that kept it from being the first perfect statue from XM. So this will have to do. And like I said, this is almost flawless, like down here. This is the only thing that bothers me a little. As you can see, there's some, it doesn't quite go all the way down like that, but something like this is just minor. There's nothing you can do about it. But that's something that you're not going to see. Okay, and then if you look at that, it just fits down there perfectly. Okay. So I guess that's it. And then let me give you a quick look. And I do have a comment about these pegs. Normally the arms are attached, or the heads are attached with magnets, but in this situation you can't have magnets because the arm is quite heavy. It will just fall off, so they're using pegs. And when you're doing it, swapping out the parts, you have to be very careful with the pegs because there's not much fortification in the whole part. And that's the one thing that I would like to see the companies do in the future, is make fortifications. Because if you switch out the parts a lot, like with Cable, with this statue, you are going to be switching it out a lot, as you should, because it's just too many good stuff to not switch out. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you remove this, be very careful when you swap parts. Come on. So that's a metal peg, right? And as you can see right there, there isn't much fortification. Okay, so ideally they should put like a thin metal plate here, and then with a hole so that as you're pulling it out, if you're not pulling it out straight, you're leaning up and down, you're gonna make that hole bigger and chip it. Okay, so that's what I would like to have them done. I mean, ideally, there should be like a cylinder like this or something inside that hole, so that you have a plate, right, and then you get a cylinder off the plate that goes in here to fortify that. Okay, because these arms, are pretty heavy. So that's why you want to do it that way. So if you switch out a lot, you got to be careful. Okay? So thanks for watching. And I guess I'm going to start putting the other ones that I've gotten a lot of them recently. And I just haven't had time to do them. So thank you for watching, and then we'll see you soon next time. I may do Ghost Rider or one of the other Xmen that I received. Okay, thanks, and see you next time. Hey, just one more thing. I am so impressed with this piece that I want to do like two different displays, and unfortunately, I was only able to buy one. So if you have an extra one, or you have one that you would like to get rid of, um, contact me. I can make it worth your while. I have some old pieces that we can trade and maybe some cash considerations. So I'd like to, you know, if you're getting rid of your old piece or something like that. Okay, thanks.